Hello and welcome once again. My name is Jay, aka Lord Gazumba. Today I'm going to talk about a prelude to a very large, big, anticipated adventure my group has been waiting for a while. And this is adventure number 823, titled The Events Before David Gradivus' Wedding. Reason this is such a big deal for us is our friend Mark, who lives in Ohio, and I've joked about it a couple times. If you've seen on our broadcasts, the gentleman in the lower corners, usually somewhere, picturing Skyping in and maybe falling asleep because it's getting to be late at night and it's still Thursday night's a work week. He will be here in the flesh to do a little gaming this weekend, and we hope to get in some just more than this adventure, the beginning of this adventure as well. But here's a little bit of the background on what we're doing here. Okay, so I have a picture below me of two figures. One of them is David Gradivus II. He's a 7th level priest, specialty priest of Ilmater / 10th level fighter paladin. So he's dual class human. He's in his 40s, but really with unnatural aging. In reverse, he's in his 50s, so he's taking some longevity potions or elixirs of youth or whatever to reduce his aging. The other character is Ashley Winchester. She's a 12th level Paladin Cavalier. She is the younger sister to Andrea Winchester. And there's been an on again, off again relationship between these two characters going back, it has to be 25, probably 30 years of gameplay, of us playing, where David has courted Ashley, and things have happened. There's been other relationships with other characters. It's gone a long time, and Ashley, has succumbed, and there's to be a wedding between the two upcoming. Now, this adventure is before that. Going to take place a few weeks before that date and time. Both these characters are hardcore Knights of Ulek, and they have been for years. David is a natural born individual. He comes from the Shieldlands, and he's is one of the 3 elected oligarchs. This is his 10th year of service in that, running the Shieldlands. The other 2 are Katarina Walworth and Valderessa Sharn. So it's approaching the end of 10 years on that. So we'll see if anything has to do with that term of service as well. But so they are in Critwall, and as you can see, the maps I've put up show it's basically a mashup of 2, just so we get all the terrain on the table, 2 different scenes. So the first scene we have, the large picture next to me, is a recently founded bar, and it's kind of a joke, like a night at the Roxbury. It's an outdoor bar run by a druid who a lot of people haven't seen for 20 years, and they're wondering where he has been. Some of the other druids have been. So that'll get explained as well in this, and he has an outdoor bar in Critwall, almost right next to, and you can see I used a tower for a character of ours named Swain, but it's the largest one we really have is for the what's called the Shield Reclaimed in Critwall, where all the Heronius specialty priests and the main headquarters for the Knights of Holy Shielding is. So it's right there. The other rest of the map is all a community in the central Shieldlands titled Walworth's Crossing. So it's named after Katarina's family. It's been there a long time, but it's been abandoned. But because it's in the area of the Shieldlands, it hasn't been reclaimed. So that area will play a major role in this adventure. Just wanted to get all. I'm not much one for setting up terrain as we go. I want to get it and just flow. We have an 8 foot by 8 foot table. People need their playing space wherever they're got their dice or whatever. So I know the parameters of where I can safely set up with not getting in other people's ways. Now throwing 3 cameras as well, and so we got a lot going on the table. But this is going to be a very interesting adventure because it's a high level open. It's not completely open, but it's a Knight of Ulek adventure. So we have any character of a certain level under 12th that's in the Order of Ulek is eligible to go on this. But a lot of people aren't going to take real low level characters. Plus, the eligibility is also 2 other mercenary adventuring groups that do have some of them have Knights of Ulek in it as well. So you have a group called the Legion. They're based in Shieldlands, but they started in Greyhawk. They have a very powerful group with some nasty spellcasters and some higher level characters. I'm talking 12th. I think there's one character that may be 13th. But you'll see some characters definitely coming from the Legion. I know of at least one. We'll go over the character list in a second. Other group, which is in the Shieldlands as well, is called, and we don't know why, it just is the name, it's called the Shieldlanders, and a lot of them aren't Shieldlanders, or the Keep group. And they're a little lesser in level, like 10th, 9th, 10th mostly. But I think they're just as formidable as the Legion. Now, a couple of the people in the group may argue with me on that, but I think they have some more resiliency, but they don't have the spellcasting knockout power that the other group has. The other group has 2 elementalists and a wild mage, and this group has some base magic users and a necromancer. So, kind of on a lesser scale. So I've opened that up. My characters are pre-told me, and I need this just for play balance and for who's going to go, just so I can set this thing up, and I don't have a free-for-all. I have all my players have told me ahead of time who is going on this adventure. So besides David and Ashley, we have from the Keep group, we have 4 characters. Sasha Silvacek, 10th level human cavalier. It's played by one of my player character. This character is also a Knight of the Holy Shielding, and she is very vested in the Shieldlands. She worships the Red Knight. We ported over from Forgotten Realms. Kind of a very good militaristic, lawful neutral, sometimes lawful good deity. Battle, we got a battle, but for strategery. So it fit perfectly in Greyhawk, and so we added it in. Another character, Annalise Tamar, half-elven, cleric mage, 9-10, from Selene, is in the Knight of Ulek, is in the Order of Ulek. Very good character. Same PC player, my friend Bill on that. He has both those. And the funny thing is he's in the Legion. He has a Cavalier and a Cleric Mage as well. So you can see he, has his things he likes, I guess. But so he picked actually the lesser level ones because they have. He may argue with this, but because they have a Knight of Ulek as one of them in this, and a Native Shieldlander is the other one. Another one we have, this is an NPC, Amelia Rothschild, 10th level specialty priest of Ouija human. Basically, the stand back, and what's cool about Ouija is they get some necromancer list spells. Actually, they can choose from all the list up to 4th, depending on their level, but they can only use so many of them. Provides an anomaly in our game where it's very few characters that have this combination and a spectral hand touch spells through healing spells. So she can tend to heal characters at a distance through her spectral hand. So she's it's a very useful character. This character is very opinionated. I believe she's a Keelander. She is a Keelander. She's actually from Rushford. She's from the same hometown as the Winchesters, but she's a little more of a lawful neutral skew. Does the right things more often than not, but just has a, because of the Ouija aspect, she's not a true goody good character. Next character, Chandra Soulbender, another PC, 8/9 Fire Necromancer, Dark Elf, typical, radiates neutral good for some reason, but is a good old-fashioned CN character. This is the wild card character. She's very useful and can be very nasty depending on certain spells she casts. The player character who's playing this one is all worried that she's not high enough for this, but he took her anyway. I don't think that it's a problem, but we shall see. That's the fourth character from the Keep /Shieldlander group. Obviously, she's from the Underdark, so she's not from around here, right? So, some more characters from the Legion. We have two characters. Same PC player. Alan is the last character. This is Missioner Starlight, High Elf, Lawful Good, 11th level Quasi Elementalist. This is a class I developed. If you go back into second edition, one day we'll go over this maybe in a Gabman talk show. You have your elementalists: fire, air, earth, water. Now the difference that we do very differently than the second edition rules, where you can only not cast your opposed element. So fire elementals cast fireball theoretically, but they can't cast Cone of Cold, opposite water. What we do is we say, and we develop a spell list. And I think up to 9th level, there's an average of around, I checked it, between 85 and 88 of all 6 elementalist classes we have. They can't cast any other elementalist spells at all. So fire elementalist cannot cast an air spell, water, earth, any of the quasi spells, which is lightning and radiance and magnetism, and any of the para spells, which is dust, lava, salt, some goofy stuff. So we threw in all the weird into that para elementalist, kind of a cool class as well. They can't cast that. They get saves on bonuses from fire spells, if it was a fire elementalist, for example, but they get negative on all the other ones. But they do have access to general magic user spells only as well. Now, the no spell percentage for writing them in a book is so much lower, but that allows a quasi-elementalist now, have a lot of lightning spells like Lightning Bolt, and there's some customized spells. We've used that in the Great Net Spellbook, Lightning Blast, a lot of the alpha spells, I believe. There's a lot of really cool spells, a lot of radiant spells as well. For the quasi-elementalist, and this character is a fairly powerful character. He wants to become, if you know anything about Furiundi, they have an elementalist serving in the court, an archmage. He wants to be the first quasi one, so that they have a 5th one. They have an air, fire, earth, water, and a quasi. So that was his goal. He's from Valuna, so he's one of those right on the border, High Folk, Valuna, Grey Elves. I'm sorry, High Elf. My bad on that. Very cool character. Next character from the Legion is Axel Cronin, Mountain Dwarf, 9th level specialty priest of Clangeddon. Clangeddon is, the dwarven god of battle, and very cool, powerful class as well. Axe Storm of Clangeddon is a great spell. It gives you extra attacks, anyone who's a worshiper. So you do that on a bunch of dwarves. And you would think, that doesn't happen that much. Well, if you get 2 or 3 dwarves in a group, and they have Axe Storm of Clangeddon on, it's really nasty. Very good, cool character. This character is a floater of one of my PC players, Walt. He's a member of the Legion, but he's now in Altamira. He's in the Dwarven Quarter in Altamira, and he's working. He's a Knight of Ulek as well. He's working toward, making connections for the Legion around in other areas. So he has come to the Shieldlands as well for this. can't pass that opportunity up to assist David Gradivus, I guess, right? The last two characters I have, one is a member of the Iron Brigade, which is the top-ranked adventuring group out of Greyhawk City. Her name is Ambril Eladwin. She is a 9/11 fighter mage, Grey Elf. She's not from Selene. She's from Reawood, which is on the other side of the map, but has a distant relation to House Telleran. Her and her brother Carol both do, and so they're both Knights of Ulek as well. They're out of, they're in Selene now, or they're in. She's in Greyhawk. Carol, I still think's in the city of Altamira. He's a Cavalier. So this group, Iron Brigade, recently just finished Expedition to the Ruins of Greyhawk, where if you know the adventure, Iaz was re-entrapped, but it was a simulacrum, that did it of his mother, and Vane had made, and Iaz then splatted Vane after he died, and it's an in-depth, long adventure. So that just recently happened. I'm gonna tell you this, a little tidbit that actually somehow ties into what's going on here. That's what I'll say. Hint, hint. Okay, so Ambril is come up. She has relations with a lot of these, knows a lot of these characters. So this is the only member of the Iron Brigade that will be here, but another Ulek. Lastly, Temporal Lakesland, and I mentioned her in my Gavin episode last week. 10/10 fighter cleric, half elven, Selenian, Knight of Ulek, head of the in charge of the area of Greater Selene. Has a lot of connections going way back. This is an old school character as well, and she is the second character that Mark will be playing besides David Gradivus. So that is the adventuring group. It's a very good group. They don't even know what they're doing yet. That's the fun part, and I don't want to give too much away on this, but we're looking at some, high-level encounters, maybe, but there'll be a lot of pre-role play. I'm not even sure if we'll get to any fighting on the first night of it. This is all based in the Shieldlands, all based on the premise that David will be getting married in a couple weeks. There'll be some wrenches thrown into things, of course. There'll be some surprises. There'll be some surprise appearances by characters that they may not have seen in a while. And some hints are, some old PCs, some Knights of the Holy Shielding members, a couple individuals they may be happy to see. Some individuals they probably will not be happy to see. A duo of people, of characters I've used before, right out of a trilogy of movies in real life. We'll just see what happens. It's gonna be fun. I believe that this will be a great time had by all. We will have some great interactions, some reminiscing early on, some people swearing at some of the characters brought out, I'm sure, and we'll see what the direction is. But of course, it's going to be something of grave concern that the party will have to face, and nothing is ever easy. And of course, I just had a call that I need to turn off here. Sorry about that. But we will go through all that coming up. We're scheduled for tomorrow night. We're going to record tomorrow night. I'm going to broadcast Friday evening this, and I'm going to push it back normally than the 12, because I am taking off from my job on Friday. Mark's here all weekend, and Mark, myself, and at least one other of the player characters will be doing another adventure and we're going to run that and broadcast that at probably starting, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning Friday. Now this one's going to be more of a dungeon crawl, but I'm going to try and do this for live broadcast, and I'll probably have to slide some terrain out of the way, and it'll be one of those where there won't be a lot of massive, there may be some underground tiles, and that's about it. But that'll be something else that's going on. I've posted it. I think the name of it is Devour Most Foul. That adventure has been adapted from, if anyone knows the great cartographer Dyson, that came out of Dyson's Delves 2. I want to give him credit. It's not a homegrown one of mine, but I have edited it. It's a filler one. Then Saturday morning, so we'll have that Friday and live broadcast. We'll have the Thursday night adventure, this one, broadcast Friday night. We'll have some stuff going on Saturday. I don't know if it'll be live or not, depending on if I can, convince certain people. But we will definitely have a broadcast Saturday evening as well, from hopefully to conclude this adventure on Saturday, and then broadcast that Saturday evening. So it'll be a packed adventure this weekend, a whole series of things. Looking forward to seeing everyone there watching. Have any questions, please, as always, drop me a line on this. I know I'm kind of vague. I don't want to give anything away early on this. This is going to be it's one of those where anything can happen, as far as it can go some different number of directions based on interactions with characters. Let's just put it this way. We'll summarize this. The fate of the Shieldlands in some aspect will be affected, and the leadership of the Shieldlands may be affected as well. That's probably as much as I can say. For better or for worse. And they're going to see definitely a recent, quote-unquote, friend/enemy of theirs as well, hopefully. So thank you. Wanted to get this out to everyone. And this one, like I said, is probably the first true Knight of Ulek adventure I have broadcast. It'll be something that... this is our style, as far as the Order of Ulek is the main group behind the entire campaign. But this is where they all come in, wherever they are across the Flanace, whatever cities they are, whatever adventure groups they are, and they come in to assist. So let's wish them, the Knights of Ulek, the best of luck on this one. I've put together a challenging adventure. With some decent RP, and I'm looking forward to running this. Always have some surprises, always have some ball busting of some people, whether it's subliminal or not. So when you play this long together with a bunch of people, they all expect it, and they all there's always some kind of razzing going on amongst friends. All harmless, of course. Alrighty, I will see you soon once again. My name is Jay, a.k.a. Lord Gazumba, and I'll see you online shortly.